Ever pondered over history's most peculiar crimes? Today we delve into the sticky saga of the great Canadian maple syrup heist. In the year 2012, a peculiar crime shook the world. A staggering $18 million worth of maple syrup vanished from a warehouse in Quebec, Canada. This wasn't just any ordinary warehouse, it was a vital part of the global strategic maple syrup reserve, a real-life reserve dedicated to stabilizing the world's supply of this sweet elixir. Given that Quebec is responsible for over 70% of the world's syrup, this heist was not just a national scandal but an international crisis. The crime was unveiled during a routine inventory check when inspectors noticed several barrels, expected to be heavy with pure maple syrup, were suspiciously light. A closer look revealed a shocking truth. The barrels were filled with water instead of syrup. The audacious plan left even the most seasoned investigators baffled. Now, you may be wondering, how did they pull off such a sweet heist? Well, let's unravel this sticky tale. The audacious plan was led by a man later dubbed the Kingpin of Syrup, Richard Valliere. Over the course of a year, Valliere and his accomplices rented space in the same warehouse that housed the Global Strategic Maple Syrup Reserve. Under the cloak of night, they embarked on their syrup siphoning operation. They transferred the precious liquid gold from the reserve's barrels into their own. To avoid detection, they cleverly refilled the original barrels with water. Imagine that barrels expected to be filled with pure maple syrup, reduced to mere vessels of water. It was a plan so daring it would leave even the most seasoned investigators scratching their heads. But the plot thickens, or should we say sweetens, from here. The stolen syrup was then transported across the vast expanse of Canada, finding its way into the hands of unsuspecting buyers. These buyers, lured by the prospect of a sweet deal, had no inkling they were purchasing ill-gotten goods. This operation was not the work of a lone wolf. No, it was a grand scheme involving multiple individuals, trucks, and months of covert operations. The magnitude of this operation was astounding. We're talking about $18 million worth of maple syrup. That's a lot of pancakes and waffles, my friends. This syrup wasn't just any syrup, it was a significant portion of the world's supply. Quebec, after all, churns out over 70% of the world's maple syrup, so this wasn't just a theft, it was an international crisis. Now, this heist wasn't just about the theft of a breakfast condiment. Oh no, it was much more than that. It was a crime that struck at the very heart of Canadian identity and economy. It was an audacious act of defiance against a system designed to protect the sweet golden bounty that is maple syrup. Next time you enjoy a drizzling of this delicious nectar, spare a thought for this extraordinary heist and the lengths some will go for the love of syrup. The investigation into the heist was as enthralling as any crime drama you'd watch on television. Imagine police forces from multiple jurisdictions working tirelessly to solve the sticky case of the missing syrup. The authorities embarked on a syrup chase, tracing the stolen liquid gold barrel by barrel across the country. This was no ordinary chase. It was a quest for justice in the face of audacious culinary crime. The syrup trail led them to Richard Valliere, the so-called Kingpin of Syrup. With the help of a network of informants, secret meetings in remote locations were uncovered, and the syrupy web of deceit began to unravel. Undercover operations exposed the vast operation, revealing the unsuspecting buyers who had been duped into buying the stolen syrup. As the evidence mounted, the authorities closed in on Valliere and his accomplices. The net tightened, and in a climactic finale, the culprits were arrested. The sticky fingers of justice finally caught up with Valliere and his accomplices. In the end, this syrupy tale teaches us a valuable lesson. The story of the Great Maple Syrup Heist isn't just a tale of audacious thievery, it's a stark reminder of the precious value of our everyday commodities. In this case, the liquid gold that is maple syrup, a crime that spanned over a year involving multiple individuals, trucks, and an audacious level of cunning. It was not just a hit to the Canadian economy, but a blow to the heart of Canadian identity. The aftermath of this sticky situation led to the capture and sentencing of Richard Valliere, the so-called Kingpin of Syrup, along with his accomplices. It served as a wake-up call to the world, highlighting the lengths some would go to control the flow of this golden condiment. A story so deliciously audacious it leaves a sweet yet bitter taste in the mouth of history. So, next time you enjoy your pancakes with that golden syrup, remember the extraordinary lengths some go to for the love of syrup.